Voters Forum. I'm Jean McIvan. I'm a member of LEAG, and I am your moderator for this evening. The LEAG is a non-partisan political organization for women and men which encourages informed and active participation in government. This forum is part of our voter education efforts to help voters make informed decisions at the upcoming election. We hope that over the course of this program, you will learn more about the candidates and what they hope to do for our city. Tonight, the forum is between Mayor Ron Corbett and his opponent, Craig Hughes, who are both running for the office of mayor. I'll start by explaining some of the procedures for tonight's forum. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for an opening statement and 2 minutes for a closing statement, and 2 minutes to respond to questions from the audience. The opening and closing statements will be done in the following order. Mr. Hughes will begin his opening statement, and then followed by Mr. Corbett. Mr. Corbett will begin the closing statement, and Mr. Hughes will have the final closing statement. Timekeeper is sitting in the front row. When there's half a minute left for the question to be answered, a card will be held up indicating 30 seconds, and then at 15 seconds, another card, and at the 2-minute mark, a stop sign will go up. Candidates will please confine statements and responses to relevant issues and refrain from personal attacks. I would like you to note that we are having this videotaped in the back by 2 entities, both Pro Video and Neighborhood Network News. If all of you right now would remember to turn off your cell phones and any other devices, we would appreciate it. If at any time you can't hear either me or the candidates, please let me know. We request that you treat all candidates fairly. Please remain quiet throughout the forum, no clapping, cheering, or calling out, with the exception that after their closing remarks, you may clap for all candidates if you wish. You are encouraged to submit questions to candidates on the provided pieces of paper. Questions must be addressed to all candidates and must apply to issues or qualifications for their particular office. And I'm going to reiterate, questions must pertain to city issues. Raise your hand if you'd like another piece of paper or have your question collected. A lead panel will review the questions, and they're sitting here in front, for legibility, clarity, applicability to all candidates. I'll read as many questions as time allows, sometimes combining similar questions, striving to cover a variety of topics. We'll begin opening statements.
Well, Ms. Gnosis, good evening, folks. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for having this forum. I think it's a great opportunity for you to meet me tonight, more so than my opponent. And a lot of times we know a lot about the incumbent and not too much about the challenges. But I'm Rick Hughes, and I run for mayor in Cedar Rapids. I'm a lifelong resident of Cedar Rapids and Iowa, and I graduated from Washington High School in 1975. My goal was to be a machinist, and after high school I ended up going and working at FMC Corporation, where I was a UAW member until 1979. And then, as most of us know, in 79, Carter raised the prime minister's rate, which closed a lot of the industry down here that was a good-paying job. Now I work at the Quaker Oats Company, and is this okay? Can you hear me? It kind of got funny there for a minute, but it wasn't until later in life and through life experience and events that I started taking college and have become certified tax preparer. I continued education through online courses to become a paralegal. I actually never finished that class, and I did that by choice. Once you become a paralegal, you cannot help somebody unless it's through an attorney. And you kind of give up your Bill of Rights and your right to associate. I owned and operated a Taekwondo school here for 22 years with more accolades than we would have time to talk about tonight. But the biggest one in 1993, I was inducted to the World Martial Arts Hall of Fame for my education with children. I got more and more involved with government waste and the law during my divorce, where I had a judge slept for 3 days of a 4-day trial. I thought, are you kidding me? Is this our legal system? I began now to the point where I chair a committee for the Iowa Supreme Court, and I'm not an attorney. In short, folks, I am the best choice over the current management. I know the political monsters have kind of tried to trade me as a hothead, and I'm not. A country bumpkin, I'll let you decide that for yourself. But I understand bonds and the instrument that they use for collecting money or making debt, and we don't do that.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Ron Corbett. I'm the mayor of Cedar Rapids. I would also like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum this evening and for your attendance. I'm going to talk a little bit about Cedar Rapids and not so much myself tonight. When I think back 4 years ago, the city that we lived in, we were losing jobs. Companies like Swiss Valley Farms closed their doors, pulled down their sign off 380 and relocated all those jobs. Other companies like Souvenir Pen closed. Many companies were actually leaving Cedar Rapids and moving to either other communities around Cedar Rapids. The city was adrift, and the residents felt that. And you could sense it in people's eyes, and you could hear it in their voice. It was really a lack of confidence in our community. And one of the reasons there was a lack of confidence is there just wasn't the decisions being made at the city level. And so when I got elected, I said that we would make decisions for our community. And as I look back, I would think I characterized my decision-making process in my first 2 years in office as firm but fair. You see, you had to be firm to make decisions. You all know in your own lives, if you try to make everyone happy in every decision that you have, you won't make a decision and you won't make anyone happy. So I had to be firm, but I also had to be fair. And fair means listening to people. Doesn't mean you're always going to agree with them, but it means listening. And here we are, 4 years later, and I can say, and I hope to answer questions over the course of the next hour, that now we have an exuberance of confidence in Cedar Rapids, and it's being shown by the private sector and by the people.
Thank you. First question, addressed to Mr. Corbett. What do you feel is your main qualification for being mayor?
Thank you. The Charter Commission outlines specifically one of the main responsibilities and duties of a mayor, and that's economic development. And after we finished making the decisions here for rebuilding our city, and we started to see this exuberance of confidence by the private sector, we had companies like Cargill made over a $20 million investment. Genencor, which was Tedesco, and now it's DuPont, they made a multi-million-dollar investment. That's pretty good for DuPont to buy that company, and the first thing they do, not close it down, but make an investment. We also saw Rainy Rose make a new investment in First Avenue. We've seen the private sector just recently show, again, that confidence in our community by New Pioneer, opening up a facility in Cedar Rapids and take the old Fin and Feather building on Center Point Road. My experience in creating jobs, one, I've been a small business person. Two, I spent many years, 5 years at the Chamber of Commerce, which is really the organization that helps foster businesses, both startup and existing business and recruiting. And then my time in the legislature and my understanding of both state and federal government. Our unemployment rate is down, and the number of people working in our community is up, and we've done that in 4 years.
Yes, I not only work for a large corporation, but I've also been a small business owner, but I lobbied for the last 13 years, and like I said earlier, I to the point where I chair a committee for the Iowa Supreme Court. I did run for a couple of those public offices, and it's pretty hard as an independent when you run for governor, when you're up against $14.7 million that people are willing to spend for a $136,000 a year job. Had I been elected, we could have cut $500 million out of the budget for the first 6 months. And this money wouldn't hurt most people, except it would save taxpayers a lot of money. When you have such a large budget, you know, we need to be looking at where you can make cut costs and save taxpayers money. You really want to extend the economy, make people feel good about it. They don't feel good about it now. I'm walking around with all the empty houses, I can almost cry. People's hopes, their dreams, their love, been trashed. And so I think we need to look around a little bit more, because there's a lot of people still hurting in the city. Iowa Public Television had me on their channel, which I thought was really great. It was a good chance for people to see me. And they asked me what my top 3 priorities were. Well, I told them, jobs, jobs, and jobs. Because without that, you don't have anything. One of the things is you have to stem the economy to get good jobs here, not just minimum wage jobs. Okay, it's always nice to say you've done that, you've got a lot of jobs, and people making $9 an hour. A little bit more than minimum wage, but not much. You know, we need to bring back sectors that are really paying good money. And I just don't see that here. You know, we have had investment in the city because in a lot of ways we're really giving away the farm to grain. You know, we also have to be competitive with other cities that are willing to compensate companies for coming in. But I think sometimes, in the way I've been told, we have overdone it. And I think that, you know, if we're going to pay a company to come here, we really have to look and see what they're bringing in here.
Thank you. Mr. Hughes, do you support the 1 cent tax extension? Why or why not?
Oh, I definitely do not support it. I think it's a crime that, once again, shows how government has no respect for us. They asked for a 5-year tax that was supposed to go to flood victims, flood prevention, and property tax relief. I don't know. I think, raise your hand if you've seen property tax relief. I haven't. I think it's really been a shame. You know, I think when it comes out, there should be a law that it can only go for the length of its term. It should come to an end. If we need more money, then they should propose another tax, but it should be run on its own merits. I think there also needs to be a law that we can only use that money for what we tell people it's going to be used for. They said this is for flood. I mean, we're all caught behind it. We wanted to help the flood victims. We wanted, you know, flood protection. You know, we wanted property tax relief. But it hasn't done that. I think less than 10% of it is actually going into it. I think, you know, once we check into this stuff, I think some people ought to be going to jail. You know, I don't know how they get by with it. You know, I think that people are taxed enough. Our property taxes went up last year twice, or this year twice. Our utility taxes went up. The franchise fee, what they just got 3 years ago, has doubled. Folks, a doubling means 100% increase. I don't know how you want me to explain that to you again, but I know all of you got it. I just don't think our people in the city government have gotten it. You know, when you double the tax, how do you expect people on fixed incomes to pay it? You know, one of the things I'll talk about later on, I just hope that we can actually start having a little